vegetables is by transplanting seedlings that were planted in seed trays or boxes. Tomatoes need lots of sun, rich, loose soil, that, and lots of water. The roots, not the leaves, must be watered. Tomato plants grow very tall, so they need to be tied to a pole or be staked.
All right, so we're to use the information to answer the questions below. All right, so tomatoes and peppers can be planted year-long once sufficient moisture is available. The best method for planting these vegetables is by transplanting seedlings that were planted in seed trays or boxes. Tomatoes need lots of sun, rich, loose soil, and lots of water. The roots, not the leaves, must be watered. Tomato plants grow very tall, so they need to be tied to a pole or be staked. All right, so the question is, question 4. Oh dear, why are my scholars on my screen and I can only see 2 of them? What's happening with the audios?
Miss, probably.
What's happening with the cameras? Scholars, I'm going to have to select those who have their cameras on. This is how I prefer to have you present yourselves. Ariella, can you read question 4, please?
Question 4. Which statement gives the best conditions for growing tomatoes? A. Tomatoes are planted by transplanting seedlings. B. Tomatoes can be planted all year long. C. Tomatoes grow very tall and need to be tied. D. Tomatoes need lots of sun and water. Question 4. Which statements gives the best conditions for growing tomatoes? A. Tomatoes are planted by transplanted seedlings. B. Tomatoes can be planted all year long. C. Tomatoes grow very tall and need to be tied. D. Tomatoes need lots of sun and water.
All right, so
Can I answer that?
hold on, please. All right, go ahead, Legende. What are you saying?
I was saying D, Miss. I choose D.
What does D say?
D. Tomatoes need lots of sun and water.
All right, so why do you think that D is the best one?
Because if you do not give the tomatoes lots of sun and water, then probably they won't take long to die.
All right, so if you give them lots of sun and water, they will thrive. All right,
Yes.
so Jer says D. Rodriguez also says D. All right, so I agree. The others, they are true about the tomato, but the question asks us for the best conditions for growing. So
And
the
Miss,
conditions are
one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And probably if you give the tomatoes lots of sun and water, probably they will even stay for more than 1 year.
Well, the passage didn't say they will stay for 1 year. It says you can plant them all year round, all year long. So let's double check what the passage said. They can be planted year long. It didn't say they will only last for a year. But I agree the tomatoes need lots of sun and water. Those are conditions that it needs for growing. That they grow very tall and need to be tied, yes, so that's a fact about them, but it's not a condition that they need to grow, right? It's likewise for the others. Okay, Amari, question 5, please.
Question 5. A farmer uses a sprinkler system that sprays water high into the air to water his tomatoes. Which statement likely explains why the farmer should adopt this practice? A. Tomatoes need rich, loose soil. B. Only the leaves must be watered. C. Only the roots must be watered. D. Tomatoes need to be tied to a pole.
Miss, can I answer
Read the
this one?
question again, please.